Why is Australia holding a referendum this year?
Because we got a change of government last year. And there was a previous government and quite a large advisory body of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people did actually get together and put together the Uluru Statement from the Heart. And that was about enshrining a voice to the Constitution and asking for, a voice, constitutional recognition. And that was rejected by the former government. So we had a change of government, and one of their promises was to take up the Uluru Statement from the Heart again and bring the idea of a voice to a referendum. The government should listen. Various governments take different positions on that, but the government should listen to the representatives from Indigenous community and have permanent Indigenous representation in Parliament. But it is not just up to the government, it's up to the people. The government can't change the Constitution without the people, so it's got to be put to the people. So yeah, there are some things the government could do. There are issues to be addressed in education, particularly around the teaching of history.
Why is the vote important?
Australia is the only settler colony where Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, where the country's first people, are not enshrined in the Constitution, in the nation's kind of like founding document. And although we are only 3% of the population, they're due to past dangerous policies and government policies. The population health and education levels are generally lower than could be expected. There are, of course, exceptions, but so to enshrine a voice, to recognise Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people in the Constitution, and then to enshrine a voice which is an advisory body on health, education, housing, and jobs for Aboriginal people would be one way of improving the outcomes for Aboriginal people. And it's also a matter of truth-telling that the nation needs to address as well, because it's the only settler colony like Aotearoa or Canada, Turtle Island, which are also former British colonies, have the First Peoples recognised in their constitutions. So Australia is internationally behind in that way. Many people are predicting the result to be quite close. It's a referendum, so a referendum has to get a national majority and a majority in 4 states. And if it doesn't achieve that, it's been unsuccessful, even if the numbers are quite high. But if one is more in favour than the other, or if 4 states are more in favour of no than yes, then it's defeated. Yeah. It becomes fairly clear as the counting starts. I'm hopeful about the result, but we just have to wait and see. If it is voted down this time, it won't get up again in this way, and it could be a long time before this opportunity comes around again, if ever. So it is quite an important opportunity. It's not like an election, where if this particular model proposal gets voted down, they get a chance to run on new platforms in 3 or 4 years. This is very much more a once-in-a-generational opportunity to change the Constitution, to have this recognition, and to have a voice enshrined.
Do you think the vote will truly change the political status of the Aboriginal people?
Well, it depends if it's yes or no, but either way it will change the way Australia is, and the way Australia is viewed, and the way Australia is viewed internationally. Because I'm a supporter of yes, I see that as a positive change, because there will then be an advisory body of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. There is a guaranteed place for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people to speak about policies that impact on Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, not policies that impact on necessarily the rest of the country. The Voice is not interested in that. It's interested in legislating on policies that can improve the lives of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. It will be permanently enshrined in the Constitution. And whatever government comes to power after that will not be able to dissolve this advisory body, although the members of the advisory body will change over time. If it's no, then there won't be any constitutional recognition, and I think in that way Australia risks a lot further division among its own people, and also some international condemnation as well.
Why does it take so long for Indigenous people to be heard when they fight for their rights? Does colonialism play a role?
The whole history of Australia is far too complex to go into in this interview, but Australia is a settler colony that was invaded for space. So the whole notion of settler claims does come into this. Colonialism does come into this. And so does settler or white supremacy. Australia had a white Australia policy for the first 73 years of its constitution, where it banned all people except of pretty much all people. There were exceptions, but pretty much all people who were not of British or white stock. So Australia does have those historical issues looming over it. But the other thing to consider is Australia does have a large young voting population who may be thinking quite differently and more critically about the British Empire and what colonialism has done and the continuing legacies of colonialism.
What problems are Indigenous people currently facing?
For all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, not just myself, everyone is talking about it. And for those who are, so there's a small minority that's being talked about by everyone. That's stressful for our whole population. It is also stressful because many people expect Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people to be all the same, and different aspects of racism have come to the media from different times, ranging from stereotypes to misunderstandings to misinformation, and that's been affecting all people in the community. I think it's a lot to do with what the No campaign has done in terms of speaking against change, and perhaps it is a legacy of past cultural supremacy.